Section 1 of Mysteries of Beekeeping Explained. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Mysteries of Beekeeping Explained by Moses Quinby. Chapter 1. A Brief History. 3 kinds of bees. Every prosperous swarm or family of bees must contain 1 queen, several thousand workers, and, part of the year, a few hundred drones. Queen described. The queen is the mother of the entire family. Her duty appears to be only to deposit eggs in the cells. Her abdomen has its full size very abruptly where it joins the trunk or body, and then gradually tapers to a point. She is longer than either the drones or workers, but her size, in other respects, is a medium between the two. In shape, she resembles the worker more than the drone, and, like the worker, has a sting, but will not use it for anything below royalty. She is nearly destitute of down or hairs. A very little may be seen about her head and trunk. This gives her a dark, shining appearance on the upper side. Some are nearly black. Her legs are somewhat longer than those of a worker. The 2 posterior ones and the undersurface are often of a bright copper color. In some of them, a yellow stripe nearly encircles the abdomen at the joints and meets on the back. Her wings are about the same as the workers, but as her abdomen is much longer, they only reach about 2/3 the length of it. For the first few days after leaving the cell, her size is much less than after she has assumed her maternal duties. She seldom, perhaps never, leaves the hive, except when leading a swarm, and, when but a few days old, to meet the drones in the air for the purpose of fecundation. The manner of the queen's impregnation is yet a disputed point, and probably never witnessed by anyone. The majority of close observers, I believe, are of opinion that the drones are the males, and that sexual connection takes place in the air, performing their amours while on the wing, like the humble-bee and some other insects. It appears that 1 impregnation is operative during her life, as old queens are not afterwards seen coming out for that purpose. Description and duty of workers. As all labor devolves on the workers, they are provided with a sac or bag for honey. Basket-like cavities are on their legs, where they pack the pollen of flowers into little pellets, convenient to bring home. They are also provided with a sting and a virulent poison, although they will not use it abroad when unmolested, but, if attacked, will generally defend themselves sufficient to escape. They range the fields for honey and pollen, secrete wax, construct combs, prepare food, nurse the young, bring water for the use of the community, obtain propolis to seal up all crevices about the hive, stand guard, and keep out intruders, robbers, etc., etc. Description of drones. When the family is large and honey abundant, a brood of drones is reared. The number probably depends on the yield of honey and size of the swarm more than anything else. As honey becomes scarce, they are destroyed. Their bodies are large and rather clumsy, covered with short hairs or bristles. Their abdomen terminates very abruptly, without the symmetry of the queen or worker. Their buzzing, when on the wing, is louder and altogether different from the others. They seem to be of the least value of any in the hive. Perhaps not more than 1 in 1,000 is ever called upon to perform the duty for which they were designed. Yet they assist, on some occasions, to keep up the animal heat necessary in the old hive after a swarm has left. Most brood in spring. In spring and first of summer, when nearly all the combs are empty and food abundant, they rear brood more extensively than at any other period. Towards fall, more combs are filled with honey, giving less room for brood. The hive soon becomes crowded with bees, and royal cells are constructed in which the queen deposits her eggs. When some of these young queens are advanced sufficiently to be sealed over, the old one and the greater part of her subjects leave for a new location, termed swarming. They soon collect in a cluster, and, if put into an empty hive, commence anew their labors, constructing combs, rearing brood, and storing honey, to be abandoned on the succeeding year for another tenement. 1 in 100 may do it the same season, if the hive is filled and crowded again in time to warrant it. Only large, early swarms do this. Their industry. Industry belongs to their nature. When the flowers yield honey, and the weather is fine, they need no impulse from man to perform their part. When their tenement is supplied with all things necessary to reach another spring, or their storehouse full, and no necessity or room for an addition, and we supply them with more space, they assiduously toil to fill it up. Rather than to waste time in idleness, during a bounteous yield of honey, they have been known to deposit their surplus in combs outside the hive, or under the stand. This natural industrious habit lies at the foundation of all the advantages in beekeeping. Consequently, our hives must be constructed with this end in view, and at the same time not interfere with other points of their nature. But this subject will be discussed in the next chapter. Those peculiar traits in their nature mentioned in this will be more fully discussed in different parts of this work, as they appear to be called for, and where proof will be offered to sustain the positions here assumed, which as yet are nothing more than mere assertions. End of Chapter 1. Recording by Louise J. Bell. Sebastopol, California.